Welcome everyone, today we have a very special Diablo 4 build. Now before I say anything, let's have a look at the replays and let me show you how powerful this build is. So we're using a rogue, and oh boy, I'm having so much fun with this build. A lot of my friends were saying rogue has been nerfed, so just having a look at this, we're currently on world difficulty 2, level 20 versus a lot of elites. And we do tremendous damage. So I'll fast forward a little bit to show you guys a little more clips of the elites, and then let's have a look at the boss. So here what you're seeing is we're using the Twisted Blade Hybrid Rogue. I'll be using Twisted Blade and also Poison Trap, and we'll do tremendous damage. And let me show you guys over here, we're fighting one elite pack, and over there we're fighting another 2 more elite pack. We deal a lot of damage, we're very durable, and the best damage is insane. And of course guys, I have been crafting my legendaries, so I'll show you guys the legendaries very soon. I just want to show you how powerful the build is. Very durable as well. Notice that we deal a lot of damage AoE, and there is also a ring of arrows as you noticed. Now of course guys, this build must be tested against a boss, right? So over here I came to my usual werewolf. So this is a werewolf boss for level 20 for the world 2. And usually I want to see how fast I can kill the boss. We do pretty good damage guys, we're very durable, and we actually reset our spells. So the boss dies in about a few seconds, right? This build is very strong and very powerful. Now just happened to be guys, the world boss respawned as I was testing this build. So why not test the build on the world boss, right? So over here you get to see this build deals tremendous damage on the world boss. And we're very survivable and very durable. Because we have the barriers, because we have the dark shroud, it's hard to kill us with the dash. So we actually killed the world boss really fast. I'll skip a little bit to show you guys. So over here, we killed the world boss with about 5 minutes to spare. And this is incredible, right? So this build is definitely good for all parts of the game. So as you can see, 5 minutes and also 8 seconds, the boss died. And I do hear a lot of friends were having difficulty against the world boss. And if you let me know if I'm around, I'll help you kill the world boss as well. Oh, we got a legendary too. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the legendary. So the new legendary we got was actually a really good legendary. I'm going to craft this one onto one of the existing weapons. So this will be even stronger for the build. Means we'll get more critical chance against injured enemies and also more current control. Now I'll also be attaching a part of the world boss fight to show you guys, but as you guys can see, I actually died a lot during the world boss because I started to get poisoned a lot and wasn't dodging a lot of poisons, so I did die a lot in the world boss, but we still killed it with 5 minutes to spare. Now what I do guys is, I'll have this whole entire replay available for you guys to watch at the end of the video. So coming over to our character, what I want to show you guys is about the legendary choices and also the skill trees. So let's go through some of the legendaries first. Of course we'll be going with the two-handed weapon for the Twisted Blade. I got this very start of the game, but I want to build this one after we try out other builds. And over here we'll also be going with Amulet. The Amulet allows us to deal more damage when we have higher resource. And our road will be going with Inner Sight, which means we have the maximum resource and deals a lot more damage. And over here we have a few of the imprints that provide us with a barrier when we have elites, and also provide us with increased damage when we have barriers. So over here you can see the increased barrier, and also over here you can see when we face elites we get a barrier. So having a barrier plus increased damage against enemies when you have a barrier is really good. Now over here we also have one of the skills that provide us with additional damage with ring of arrows. And we do have a marksman spell, so our puncture is actually marksman spell, and that can trigger these particular legendary aspects. And over here we have a few of the not so good legendaries, so those 2 legendaries I just happen to have them. I didn't really use those 2 over here. Now we saw the chest over here, and if we look at the gloves, this gloves is actually not bad. Using agility spells will lower my cyber fetch cooldown by 20%, and this is really good, because if I keep dashing, that means I lower my poison trap cooldown, and my poison trap can reset my shadow imbuement, and makes everything super powerful. And of course, when we use the cyber fetch skill, agility skill also gains additional damage. Finally, we have the pens over here, and this pens is very good in terms of defense mechanics. So we get a free dark shot every 3 seconds, and basically when you leave the town, you almost have full dark shot. And this means I don't have to cast dark shot actively, and I still get the maximum benefits of having dark shots, including the damage reduction and also the increase of critical chance. Now if you guys want to see all the skills and also all the enchantment and also crafting of the items, come over to the end of the video. I have a small clip to show you all the weapons and also all the items over here. So just a small summary on the item choices for crafting. I'll be going with Shadow Imbuement on my helmet. And for the necklace, you want to find agility skills and also imbuement spells. And this all +1 is really good on this amulet. After that, the gloves, you do want to find Twisted Blade +1 if you can. And over here on the pens, if you can find Dark Shroud or Poison Trap, it is really good as well. So you can see I have some really nice ones. Now as for the range, what I want to do is I want to gain shadow damage, close damage, and any critical chance will be really good. Because if you look at the weapons, we also have sockets for the increase of critical chance damage against vulnerable enemies, which we do a lot of vulnerability with the shadow imbuement. So I'm sure you guys are pretty excited to see the skill tree. So coming over to a skill tree, I'm using 20 points over here because I haven't got my second or third Reno, so I'm missing one skill point. I'll be going with Puncture and also its upgrades. Puncture allows me to slow enemies and also provide vulnerability, which means I'll be benefiting from both of the damage increase. Over here we'll be going with 5 points into Twisting Blade, and also Twisting Blade lowers cooldown, so this is the usual build. Now if we come over to the agility tree over here, you can see a lot of skills have plus rank. This is simply because some of my items have plus rank to those skills. And if you do find any of the lagging, that +1 dash is really good. Or you can find it on amulets. So I found them both this time. So what I want to show you guys is, if you happen to find +1 to dash, you don't have to perk into dash. But dash is really good. So what you can do is, for the extra skill point, in order to get to the next section, you can go with 1 skill point into weapon mastery. Now once we get into Sabotage, the skill gets very interesting for the Hybrid Rogue. We'll be going with 1 point into Poison Traps and also its upgrades, which allows us to reset our imbuement. And over here, we'll go with 1 point into Dark Shard and also its upgrades, which provide us with more Dark Shard and also increase of critical chance by 8%, and this is massive. Now finally, we'll go with 1 point into Shadow Imbuement and also its upgrades, which provide us with a lot of vulnerability and also increased damage. And yes guys, you can see I have a lot of plus skill ranks with a lot of my gears. So again, if you're interested, come over to the end of the video. I'll show you guys the whole clip of each of my items and what I have crafted over here. Now on the topic of crafting, I do want to share something interesting with you guys. My friend told me about this one. So you can be getting a special level 20 or level 18 sword from a particular monster, and this monster guaranteed to drop those stats. Increase shadow damage, increase damage with shadow over time on enemies, and also you can roll this item into increased close range damage. And this item costs nothing to reroll. So I'll show you guys a quick clip over here. So this is the bonus part for watching our guides. So over here, there is a monster that you can be farming. And you can see a lot of players are farming this monster, right? So let me fast forward a little bit. When the monster spawns, we're farming this monster. This monster drops a flaming sword called the Dark Blade. And the Dark Blade itself have a really high chance of dropping a really high rank. So here I got item level 292. And this item is a guaranteed drop. So this is really good if you're farming for your rogue or for your barbarian. And ideally, this is the best weapon for the Twisting Blade Rogue. Now just to show you guys over here, the location of this weapon is over here. So you come out of the town, you come over here, and you come over here. I'll show you guys the location over here. And it takes a while, maybe 5 or 10 minutes for the monster to respawn. Sometimes you can reset using the teleportation to see if the monster respawns. Now coming over to skill rotations of the rogue, it's quite straightforward. You want to be casting your Shadow Imbuement before you do anything else and get the cooldown going. And the interesting part about this rogue is you can be casting Poison Trap with a very high chance of resetting your spells. And don't forget to dash, because when you dash, you'll be lowering your cooldowns. When we face elite monsters, we get a barrier, we also get increased damage. And I'll try to show you guys one of the resets over here. So over here, notice I have crafted my Shadow Imbuement and then I casted my Poison Trap. And notice that my Shadow Imbuement got resetted. I'll show you guys again over here. And the goal to do this is you get a lot of cooldown reduction with Twisting Blade. And everything works even better with resetting your Shadow Imbuement. So notice my Shadow Imbuement got reset after the Poison Trap is triggered. And this makes us extremely powerful. We do a lot of vulnerability damage, burst damage, and incredible defensiveness with the Dark Shard. And on top of all, we're very mobile. So this build is by far the best build I tried in the Server Slam. And even though the nerfs to the Shadow Imbuement from 9 seconds to 13 seconds, we can get around it with resetting its cooldowns. Now coming over to the final part of the video. So here I'll show you guys my items and also me playing the first dungeon, which I'll be farming elites, and also me playing the second dungeon, which will be killing the boss very fast. So one thing to highlight over here is you can see my stats at the end of the replay. So here I'll show you guys, I went for close range damage increase, I went for shadow damage increase, and I went for any of the decent damage with critical chance and also critical rate. We also get a lot more critical rate because of the skills.
ready yet. No one I need more time. I'm not ready yet. Out of energy. Time to do that. I need time to do that.
I tried to convince Selena to leave with me. I told her that her son would rather grow up with a mother, and we could start over, away from this frozen wasteland. She refused. So Liana said she would run with me to a abandoned wife, in a better world for her son.
Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4.